everybody. We are here in the Handiquilter headquarters in Salt Lake City with Darren, who is the president of Handiquilter. First off, thank you so much for letting us be here. And Darren's going to give us the full behind-the-scenes tour. So I think let's just jump right into it, should we?
Yeah, thanks, Brody.
Okay, absolutely.
You guys being here. So first of all, you're at Handiquilter, our facility in North Salt Lake. We're going to walk you around the building. Some places we'll show you. Some places, there's a couple places even on the all-exclusive. You're not going to get to see. But right now you're standing in our open lobby. If you pan around the lobby, you'll see some machines down here. We don't sell machines from this location. We push any sale we get, whether it's from here or to show. We push that to our retailers throughout the United States, right? So what you see around here is a display room. Often some of these machines are being worked on by our engineering team when they're to kind of test things out or play with them a little bit here and there.
How many stitches can we put on this machine?
Exactly. And if you look in the far back corner to that door there, that's one of those areas that's going to be off limits. That area is for our engineering team.
Cool.
So we've
the
got
newest ideas, right? Yeah. The newest products coming out.
Newest products, newest ideas. Working on current products as well. Quality issues. Anything that has to do with, like for instance, software. So we have 9 engineers on staff. 3 mechanical, 3 electrical, and 3 on the software side. So always working on putting in new features for the Pro Stitcher, and then working, software. Software's always got some issues you got to work through.
Updates and all of that. So we shouldn't have filmed in there.
No, you shouldn't have that camera in there. Right behind that as well, there's a testing lab where we have people in there constantly testing on all the different machines that we offer and all the different products. So,
well, that's something I like about Handiquilter a lot, is that everything is fully tested. I mean, not just it works and we tested it for a little while and it works. Like it's fully vetted.
Yeah, absolutely. So. It's part of what we do and part of what we have to be able to do to ship machines all over the world. The primary, obviously most of our machines are sold here in North America, but we ship to Africa, we ship to China, we ship to Australia, a lot to Australia.
Yeah, so talking to someone about that, said a lot.
So and all over the world, but to do that, we have to have a machine that's not an industrial machine, and we have to pass certain certifications. So our engineering team is always working on making sure that
everything's compliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So to start the tour off, let's go upstairs. That's where we typically start, to our marketing and education side of the business. Okay. And we'll give you a quick tour.
All right, let's do it.
This is our education department. This is our studio. And in here we do education for consumers that'll come in a few times a year.
Like retreats.
Like retreats, exactly. But primarily, this is set up for our retailers. So when someone becomes a retailer, they have to mandatorily have to come here to Salt Lake City, and they have to be taught on 2 sides. They bring 2 people, technically somebody that can work on the machine.
Sure, if there's ever an issue, they can fix it.
Yep. And then on the other side of that as well is just learning to use the machines, whether it's using a Pro Stitcher or just simply using free motion on a machine. I think about 24 machines in here that are typically used for hands-on experiences. The education team is back over here. There behind us, or right straight ahead over here, is our marketing team. So the marketing team is up here working on projects and products all the time. Wave hi to all of them.
Hi everybody.
They're a quiet bunch. They don't ever come downstairs and bother us.
Marketing away. Keep up the good work.
So we're heading out now to production, but before we get there, we always stop and make sure everyone sees these maps. This map is just a map of all of our retailers across the United States. Different colors of the pins represent different levels of those retailers.
Here we are right here, guys.
There you are.
That's us. Is white good? Is that okay?
White is good. White is good.
We don't have one of the bad colored pins here.
But I'm sure you're going to get some more color on that soon.
Yep.
Because you're just new with us. So.
Yep.
All right, and the more importantly to us is, I guess not more importantly, but I love this map because it shows you where we have distribution all over the world.
Which I think is incredible. I don't think that most Handiquilter consumers understand the worldwide reach that you have.
Yeah, and people are doing quilts all over the world. I mean, we've got dealers or distributors in Brazil, South Africa, and
this is where my wife's from. You got a Handiquilter dealer in Colombia right there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here we are, out into production, our fulfillment area. Careful there as you walk around. So we're starting kind of in the fulfillment area. We're going to walk you around to production, you'll see where all this comes from.
And tell everybody on the camera, or behind this camera, what is fulfillment? So what does that mean?
The fulfillment is where we're actually getting all the parts and pieces, product ready to ship out. So we're fulfilling any orders that are coming in.
So when I place an order, it's going to go right here, and they're going to put it together.
We'll eventually make it out here, and they're going to put it together. And all the boxes you're seeing right here in this area are primarily machine boxes, frame boxes. All of these parts and pieces here, when we get ready to ship, and we're shipping, you know, a lot of machines a day.
Sure, every day. Very cool.
So we're building upwards of 30 machines every single day.
Wow.
In the process.
Amazing.
Right. So here's a package.
This one's going to the Netherlands. Check this out.
Yeah, this is going
Very
to
cool.
our distributor in the Netherlands. And on all these boxes, you see these. You see the paperwork on there. The paperwork is basically the process. So as they go through all the different quality checks and all the different build processes in the warehouse, they're getting checked off. So we know we can pull by serial number a machine and identify who built it, who inspected it. So if and when we have issues, we can track back and try to find out how to improve, or what process we might have missed, or step we might have missed.
Or you just know that Johnny is no longer with Handi Quilter, right?
Yeah. Well, when we talk about accountability, usually it's more about the process,
sure.
not the person. So machines here are staged. All these machines are ready to go out.
Okay, so these have been quality control checked. Everything's ready to rock and roll.
And they go through this process here, and you'll see right here. Here's an Amara.
There you go.
It's been boxed up. It's ready to go. All the inspections have been completed. And it'll get put in, the foam will be put on the top, and then it'll be set over here for fulfillment. So those machines are all ready to go out the door. So we have SOPs, so procedures basically that we go through on every build, or every part of every sub-assembly, even all the way down to when machines are put in here. So it's a packing list with illustrations.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Life-size illustrations.
Oh, you're not joking. That's
Yeah. So we're trying to lay everything out to make sure everything gets included, so that you're not missing any single piece.
Sure.
Again, I talked to you a little bit about shadow boards, right? So this is a shadow board for Pro Stitcher for an Amara, right? So before we box all this up, we're laying everything out so that we know we have everything in the box. So all that stuff is laid out here, and again, all those parts and pieces are right over here in different bins.
So one of your team members is going to grab one of these. They're going to come over here. This looks like that one right there. They're going to do one of these deals and set it right on top.
Exactly.
Just like that.
Just ready to go.
Look at that. I could work here.
You could. These are sub-assemblies. So shafts are right here. These shafts are ready to go in machines.
But they just assembled these here.
They just assembled those. So all the assembly process is done over here. So you see all the parts for that assembly right in this area.
So they're taking one of these guys here. They're putting them on the end.
They'll take a shaft and they'll assemble the shaft. And you'll see right here, here's an SOP for all of that.
Yeah, your bearings,
so you know exactly
counterweight, shim, spacers. They got plenty of oil on them, which is great.
They do. They need that. So that's the sub-assembly side, and on the sub-assembly side you also do head frames. So here's a head frame. We've got a tool there that basically presses the needle bars. So you'll have needle bars over here where you'll actually press needle bars into the head frame, and you eventually get this, which is your head frame. That's not.
So this machine is actually compressing these together.
Because those bearings are undersized, so that there's no you don't want a needle bar or a pressure bar having any vibration in there.
Vibration. Yeah.
So you'll now get to see kind of the whole machine with everything in it, and they'll close this machine up. And then they'll take it over to what you hear is our burn-in process.
Okay.
Where all the machines, once they get closed and once everything's in them, they'll run for upwards of 4 hours.
Okay.
With the speed going all the way down to low.
Winding up and winding down and winding up.
And those machines then, that's just another process there that we can identify whether or not the bearings are aligned, whether your belt's having issues. You'll be able to hear some of that, and you'll be able to, there's some visual signs as well that could tell you whether or not it's good or not.
So this right here is kind of your end stage of putting the machine together. We've got the closed, basically blank. They open it up, they fill it there. This is finalized here, and this is right here. Show us on camera. This is what we were holding over there, or one of these, right?
Yep, shaft.
This is one of the shafts. This is one of that sprocket, or I don't know what you guys gear that you guys call these. So this is the gear that I was holding in my hand. Here's one of the bars. We're talking about the bearings and things that you'll see. So this is the the almost finished version of that step by step.
Yeah. Now, recognize that at this point they still don't sew. They'll run, they don't sew. After they go through the burn-in process, we take them a little further over here where we do a finish process where they're timed.
I'm going to say that's the hooks and stuff.
Yeah,
finished,
the needle's put in, the hook is then put in, and they're timed so that they'll actually stitch.
Cool. Well, let's get the elephant out of the room. What's going on over here?
So this is that burn-in process. You can carefully fill these machines. They're warm.
Yeah.
Right, because they've been running. And these will run for about 4 hours, and then they get processed over here. As long as everything's okay with them, they'll move over here where we we time them so they'll run.
Well, you can hear, so they're winding down now. So it's doing it at all different speeds, because obviously if you just run it at the high speed, there might be something at the middle speed that you didn't catch or whatever. So
once the machines have gone through the burn-in process, they're brought over here, and Sean and team and the rest of the crew will do this is actually timing the machine. So they're putting the needle in, they're putting the bobbin case in and the hook in to make sure that it will sew, and they do the timing process. Once that is completed and the wheels are put on, they'll actually move those over, and if you pan around here you'll see all these different frame systems set up to test machines.
You're actually getting the full needle, thread, sew out.
Yeah, everything. We call this the sew off process. It's the most important part of the quality checks that we do, because every machine will be sewn on for about 20 minutes. They'll go through all the different buttons on the screens to make sure the functions are all happening the right way, and that it's actually stitching and it's forming a good stitch. If it doesn't form a good stitch, then it gets pushed back either back to here, or if it's something on the internal, it'll go all the way back to wherever they have to
restart.
A restart.
Yeah.
Sure. So, and that process happens with every single machine that goes through the factory.
How I don't know if we can cut this out if you don't want it to hear. So let's say you assemble 100 machines in a day. How many of those don't finish the sew out perfectly and have to be redone? Just like, you know what, didn't quite get it perfect, we're going to do it again.
That's a good question. I don't know the exact statistic. I would guess it's less than 10%.
Okay, good.
And when that happens, it might be just, again, it might be a timing issue.
Sure.
Maybe someone fell asleep at the wheel, right? He didn't hear me. Maybe Sean fell asleep at the wheel. So maybe 10% of them are pushed back, and most of that is for minor items.
Sure, minor quality control. A screw needs to be tightened a tiny bit more.
Or you might have a cable that has a fray in it, or a cable that that's touching another cable, and things like that.
Sure.
But it's important for us to find those things, because you don't want that number of people out in the field having issues.
No way. Yeah, well, and I've never opened up a Handiquilter that's ever had an issue out of the box. Ever. Yeah. You know, we open a lot of Handiquilters that go to consumers, and
I wish I could say we're always perfect, but
there's no way.
We're always striving for that.
You're always sending them out perfect. Cool.
Okay, so that's essentially the end of the tour.
Okay.
We can walk you back in here. You'll see a few more quilts along the way. But any last minute questions?
I don't think so. I thank you so much for doing the walkthrough with us, and especially showing us this behind the scenes. Yeah. It's so cool to see companies like Handiquilter that it's all done here. I mean, look at the team you have here and the people that are here checking the quality and making sure that everything is just spot on every time. Yeah. So that's awesome.
It's great. It's a great place for me. It's been a great place to work. Continues to be a great place to work. We love it here. We have great team members. There's a lot of people that work here that have been here for 5 to 10 years, or even 15. I've been with Handiquilter for 16 years now, and we have several that have been here longer than I have. And when I joined, there was only 15 of us.
Wow. So what a huge growth you guys have had. So thank you so much for letting us walk through, and you guys are going to see all the in between camera shots now. So awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.